We keep updating you on what's happening at Swahili Potter Foundation. Like I said earlier on, Pun Innovation Week begins today at 9 all the way to 5 p.m. It's going to be a week-long event from 27th all the way to 31st. And today is packed with a lot of conversation around, of course, innovation. We just had a conversation with Dr. Tony Omwansa. He is the CEO of Kenya, who spoke about innovation and how they support startups,
Yes.
and why you need to show up and be part of this, because you might meet somebody who might support you as well.
Kabisa.
Yes.
Yes.
And in the program today, one of the conversations that will be had pretty much in the afternoon is how AI agents for everyone, or rather how to leverage AI, right? In your business, in your work, in your daily
everything.
life, because it's the way forward. Sindio?
Ndio maisha. AI imeshakuwa ni life.
It's part of life.
Yes.
So let's get into it. In studio, we do have Aishwariya. Yes.
Aishwariya.
I'm struggling.
Aisha is okay. In fact, that's what I normally get called around work, at home. Aisha is just fine.
I'm going to call her Aisha. I really tried. We have Aisha Srinagesh. She is the COO Helexia AI. Aisha, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to also our fellow innovators and appreciators that will be with us at Pwani Innovation Week.
Yes.
It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here. Before we get into Helexia, why is it important for you to be part of Pwani Innovation Week?
Well, I am excited to be able to showcase developments that our companies have been working on to just bring in things that the Kenyan citizen would need.
Yeah.
Things that we already are using but could be at better quality, lower cost, more affordable in terms of even where you're able to access them. So we need to figure out how we can come in, showcase great innovations, but also make them accessible to everyone.
All right, great. And what are these innovations?
So right now, what I would love to showcase is actually Helexia. So
Let's
our
talk about
innovations are primarily in healthcare at the moment. So what I would love to showcase for our listeners today is what Helexia is capable of and what it is fundamentally. So like we said earlier, costs are a big problem. Accessibility is a big problem. Also in the healthcare specialty, we're also looking at healthcare professionals that we need for specific matters or from specific departments that may not be accessible to everybody within the healthcare system in general. So the Helexia system is able to bring us all of these components in one application and have our healthcare professionals be able to use it.
Yes. How about this? Let's begin with Helexia. What is Helexia for those people who do not understand?
Fair enough.
What is
Okay,
it?
let's start
Yes.
at the foundation.
Yes, what is Helexia AI, and what role does it play in helping people and businesses use artificial intelligence?
Fantastic. So Helexia is an AI-powered healthcare solution. So it's built primarily to empower healthcare providers. It's not built for independent diagnosis. So the healthcare system in particular could benefit from the AI advancements, especially in terms of triage. So the Helexia system is broken down into three components. We've got the AI screening, a hospital information management system, and tie-ins for testing and treatment. That's your labs, your radiology, and your pharmacies. So we're able to offer an end-to-end patient journey that ends with not only you receiving what you need, but more importantly, with the AI integrations, we're able to do things like follow up with you. Check if after you leave the hospital, how you're feeling. Were the treatments effective? Do you feel like you want to come back? If you do, we're able to now reroute you through a more specialized journey. And everything is fueled by the system, by the healthcare professionals managing it, and the nexus between the two of them.
Yeah. Okay, walk me through. So when you go to hospital, most of the times you go, of course, you at the reception, and then they take you to the triage, and then they check your pressure, they check your, what else do they check? Is it your pressure?
Pressure, weight.
Your weight, all that.
Yes.
With the integration of Helexia, what would it
Look
solve?
like?
Yes, what
well,
would it look
first
like?
of all, can we actually acknowledge the fact that the healthcare system in Nairobi, whenever we walk into a hospital, those wait times are insane. So
Yeah.
what we're trying to do is help you cut the time that you're waiting for treatment. And this is where now the AI parts of our system come in. So instead of walking in to fill out a registration form manually,
Yes.
you've got a QR code and you can fill in all of your basic details beforehand. or while you're waiting. But in the meantime, you're not just sitting there idle, even after you filled in your information waiting, because the AI screening component now takes you into triage. Now, this is pretty cool. What it does is it's able to take your vitals off a facial scan. So what it's able to pick up are things like your blood pressure, your heart rate variability, your respiration rate, blood oxygen, and heart rate, with comparable accuracy to legacy instruments like a stethoscope that you're using in your triage. So while your height and your weight need to be taken, of course, manually, and while you're there, the rest of it can actually be substituted with the application. So now you come in, you finish your triage, and instead of waiting around further, the information is being fed into the system. So now you go and see like probably your GP right after that. If you do not have the infrastructure to support that, which a lot of medical facilities don't, we're able to now offer you a virtual consultation with a doctor based off of information that you've already handed in that's already been verified. So you take your vitals, go into a virtual consult, and then you can almost take your entire patient journey through just the application.
Wait a minute. Okay. So when you go to the trial, or normally this, because we're going to do this manually. Normally the results, they send the results to the doctor.
Yes,
right?
so the results are uploaded into a patient health record, recorded within the hospital information management system, which is the second component of Helexia. So everything is, as soon as it's acquired, the information goes right into the system. So there's no delay of someone running around with paperwork here and that, none of that. You just go directly into whatever treatment or testing that you have to do after you visited your doctor, because the process is seamless. It's all technology based. It's all AI based. It's cutting down time. It's cutting down costs. It's also letting our healthcare practitioners focus on high risk emergency situations. So they're not just coming in to deal with someone with a very small cold, cough, or flu. We can direct our resources where they're needed while we're still able to treat the masses.
Okay, so meaning with the you said it's a facial scan, right?
Yes, it's a
with
facial
a facial scan, you're able to detect something sensitive.
Give me a little more context to something sensitive.
Because when you say when you get to the doctor and they do a facial scan, and then after that they're able to forward your information faster, right? Then let me take you now to the virtual. You say the virtual consultation. What is the need of the virtual consultation?
Okay.
How does it come in?
I need you to think about this in terms of especially rural settlements across the country.
Good.
So in urban settlements, we're pretty much okay with like having doctors on hand for us to be able to go in for a consult. But in situations where maybe there's only one healthcare provider to about 150 people, we don't have the luxury of being able to dispatch resources there in a timely manner. So what we could do instead is take your vitals, understand your condition, which is also super important. It's not to say AI is a substitute for human intervention, especially within the healthcare sector. Bedside manner is a thing for a reason. So now what you're able to do is in an underfunded or like in a situation where maybe you don't have all of the instruments that you would need, all you need is your tablet with the application, scan your vitals, understand patient history to whatever degree. And now you're able to directly take them into a consultation without them having to wait around and wonder if they will ever get any kind of treatment.
Yeah. And this, so that means Helexia has to be integrated into the healthcare system.
Yes. So there's a hospital information management system.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, that's basically the software hospitals run on.
Yeah.
So we have a component that exactly fits the bill,
Yeah.
along with integrating the facial scan and now directing patients to either a treatment or a testing facility.
Yeah.
So all of the information is stored within, just like any hospital visit. You go to a hospital, you fill out your record, it's in the system. It's pretty much the same concept with Helexia, except the particular institution you're going to is the only place this information will be stored.
All right. And do we have that running in Kenya at the moment?
Do we have this?
Yeah. Do we have Helexia integrated, Helexia AI integrated in hospitals in Kenya? Is that working?
Yeah. This is why we've come to
Oh my
showcase
God.
the product.
Okay.
Yeah. We wanted to come and just make a big announcement and just walk people through the process.
Yeah.
So it's not intimidating when they come across it in any of the healthcare facilities near them.
Yeah.
Just almost like a soft land. But just for further information, the proof of concept that sits within Helexia comes from a pilot that they did in India with about 1 million people.
Yeah.
and they had healthcare providers come in and essentially take in diagnosis for diabetes, have people, community healthcare workers go house to house, gather the information. So the validation for the concepts that we're explaining definitely already exists. We've already got proof of concept very well forward, but now we want to launch this here.
I like that. I like that.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, I'm going to show up and learn everything about it.
What time?
Today.
What time?
Today, because Aisha will be there today. Yes, so you better show up, by the way.
You sound so skeptical.
Yeah, I need to see it, so that's why I'm asking for the time. I have to be there. Ndio nisome vizuri hii kitu.
So that he may be able to understand it better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you are going to be there.
I'm going to be a translator.
You are my
okay, go
translator.
ahead.
Yes. Now, it is
Helexia.
Helexia.
Yes.
Piloting done outside the country. You are yet to launch it here. Have you done any piloting in any
Facilities here?
Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to be able to disclose too much about where we've set up, because like I said, we're still in our initial stages. We're piloting now. So what's going to happen is actually very exciting. With Mombasa County in particular, we've noticed healthcare is a really big concern for your governor. And we would love to now work closely with him in order to offer free healthcare to the community as a whole, to Mombasa County as a whole. So you'll be able to see the live demonstration here without having to go too far within maybe, I want to say, a couple of weeks, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, you're planning to do that in Mombasa?
Yes, we are definite. So this is our first stop
Good.
to bring Helexia to the people of Kenya. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mombasa County.
Mombasa County is blessed.
That is big. Aisha, you'll be speaking on AI agents for everyone today.
Yes.
That is at Pwani Innovation Week. Could you explain what an AI agent is and how it actually works in simple and everyday terms?
All right. So actually, I'm going to break down a couple of AI terminologies that I've recently picked up. So what we'll start with is the most commonly used one. Let's go with ChatGPT. ChatGPT actually functions on something called a large language model. So basically what it does is it takes pattern recognition and is able to throw information at you based on that.
Yeah.
So if you ask it a question, it's going to scour its information base and then put together the most logical sounding response and send it at you. Now here's where things get a bit more complicated. If you're a subject matter expert, for example, and you get onto ChatGPT and you ask it a very specific question, it may not give you the information that is actually correct. And as a subject matter expert, you'd be able to tell. But for us regular users, we wouldn't. So that's where you have to be a little careful. This is where also prompt engineering became like a really big buzzword for a while.
Yeah.
Because you have to really be specific with what you're asking ChatGPT, with every nuance accounted for. And personally, I will not take any information from ChatGPT if there's no backlink. So you can ask it to bring up the source, click the source, read it for yourself, get a feel for where it's coming from, and then move forward with it. So this and machine learning are very common tools that we use in AI.
Yeah.
And now we'll take it a step further into agentic AI. So this is your Siri. Your Siri, your Alexa, things like that. So primarily what they're able to do is based on their database, they will be able to answer only limited to their database. So I don't know if this has happened to you, but if you ask Siri a question and sometimes it's outside the scope, Siri's just going to tell you, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm not doing this, essentially. But what we're trying to now bring more discussion around is cognitive AI, which is what our system uses. So cognitive AI uses reasoning and causal understanding. That means when you ask it a question, it's able to pinpoint answers to you and give you reasons why it's giving you that answer.
Yeah.
So especially within the healthcare space, for example, we can't take chances or risks with someone's life. And it's really important for everyone to understand every step of the way. And in fact, AI brings up an even more interesting conversation around consent. So consent is, of course, super important in every aspect, but within the AI space, it seems like information can be gathered without consent from the person supplying it. Helexia is here to make sure that does not happen. Every time your patient health record is to be shared with any medical professional, you'll get a prompt on your phone. So you understand where your data is going. It's also not being used for nefarious purposes. So I think that's also an important part of the system to understand.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at AI and its applications today, I think large language models are super interesting because it lets you customize responses based on your user. So it's understanding how we like to talk, it's understanding what we enjoy reading, and then it's using that information to adapt the way it's talking to us.
Yeah.
So those are like, say, even what your chatbots are doing, things like that, which is probably the most simplistic way of integrating AI into any business, really. Customer service.
Okay. And I would like you to give us just a few insights on how AI agents are already being used. And perhaps you mentioned customer service. You talked about healthcare or even the education sector to make life easier.
Oh, actually, I would like to explore this a little bit more.
Okay.
So what I've seen in terms of AI being used is primarily at a very baseline for customer service. It's because when you're asking questions to a company, they've already understood that there's a likelihood of this question being asked.
Okay.
They're pulling information from a data pool. I would love to understand how this would fit into the Kenyan education sector.
Yes.
Because, I mean, first we'd have to be able to enable technology at such a scale. I would love to see how this would come in, not just to help the students, but also to help educators. So that's definitely something I personally would like to do a little bit more exploration into. But on a baseline, I think most Kenyan companies at this point have definitely integrated AI into, like I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
customer service and chatbots.
Okay. And for innovators, I mean, because Pun Innovation Week is also a space for innovators, right? And a lot of startups. So for innovators and startups in Kenya or even across Africa, what opportunities do you think exist in the AI space?
I would first love to debunk this myth that AI is taking our jobs.
Please.
It's absolutely not capable of doing that.
Yeah.
It's here to augment what we are already capable of doing. So say large workloads are suddenly being able to be processed a lot faster, which only creates room for when human interaction is needed, we're able to come in with that. And I would love innovators to just spend a little bit more time understanding what cognitive AI actually is, and understanding that this creates the autopilot that we actually needed for some processes. So we're not neglecting parts where us as people must come into businesses and interact with a customer.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I think it'd be kind of weird if you walked into a store or interacted with a business and all you saw were just automated replies and AI talking to you. We still got time before, we've got like our Terminators or, things like that happening. So to all innovators that have tuned into our session, I would love for you to just give some time to cognitive AI and hopefully share your thoughts. Feel free to reach out to us at the Helexia website or Truly Kenya. We love to entertain a discussion, or any of our social media platforms. But I think once the discussion shifts from agentic AI to cognitive AI, you'll see huge changes in our industries. And with Gen Z walking into workforces and rising in, I'd say, like into managerial positions and starting to take it over, we'll see exactly why this tech generation is coming in well equipped.
Yeah. How then can innovators also integrate? Because things are evolving. How do innovators integrate AI in their work?
So I think first it's important to understand what parts of your work can be automated. And that would really be step one. And once you do understand what can be automated, you can now pick and choose the kind of AI applications you want to bring in. I also think people shouldn't be coerced into introducing things into their businesses just because it's a trend.
Yeah.
Like I hate to see, especially with like big ticket companies that are investing in software, you end up finding out that they've paid like millions, but really they're only using a finite portion of this. We don't need to do that. Especially as a small business or a mid-sized business, look at what you actually need and address that. If your company is running fine right now, that's also okay. What you need to be thinking about is how you're growing. What are you accounting for in terms of growth? What's going to help your company move forward? And then see how AI can now integrate into those parts.
Don't you think it's because everybody's saying AI is a big thing, and when you go online, and especially when you go to YouTube, there's always this, if you're somebody about 40, you need to...
I think it's important to stay informed.
So much pressure.
So so much pressure, and it's so unnecessary, because if you're going to do something just to jump on a trend, it's not going to work. You have to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Buzzwords have been around forever, please. Like, especially, I love listening to finance bros talk in particular. It's always like really interesting. Blockchain was like a big one for like a while. No, I think succumbing to buzzwords is great if you're only talking about things. You want to see actual impact in your business, understand where you can fit something in and produce results you actually need. Don't fall for it.
So what you're saying is you don't really have to integrate AI if your system is working right.
If it's working right, that's fine. But are you trying to scale? Are you trying to grow? Are you trying to stay relevant in today's economy? Because your competitors are definitely going to have some form of AI integrated into their system. But they're also going to be pinpoint accurate and precise. You don't have to blow up a ton of money in order to do this. You just have to understand where the resources need to be strategically allocated.
Okay. And to the very basic one, how then, because I mean, we talk about artificial intelligence, and a good number of us, it's true, most people still, we are on ChatGPT and we're literally just scratching the surface, you know? Like, it's just ChatGPT and you give the prompt and that's it. How best can we get dive deeper into understanding how to use AI in our daily experiences to just make things easier, especially
fair
work.
enough. Actually, I will not like ChatGPT is one of my favorite tools I have recently discovered. But more importantly for me, I've realized that's why. So the buzzword that was running around was prompt engineering for a while. I think it's still running the circuits, if I'm not mistaken. What that does is it helps you streamline the kind of information you're receiving from the system. So you need to be detailed. Actually, that's the thing. I think it will also help people understand exactly what they're trying to achieve in terms of answers. Because ChatGPT can tell you anything, really. But if you want something very, very specific, say you're using something to deep dive, you're in school and you want to try and understand a concept better, you've learned a new word at work and you want to understand context for what it means, make sure you're using as much as possible in terms of explaining your prompts when you're putting them into ChatGPT. And over time, in fact, challenge it. Ask it why. Ask it where it picked up the information from. Ask it to validate against something else. Challenge it. That's what it's there for. So I think that one would be a great stepping stone into like really understanding how far AI capabilities go.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. How'd it go?
I was working on something and then I lost the information. That was a day, I think. A day before. So I go back and I'm thinking, okay, I need to retrieve this information, but I'm not certain. So I go back and say, hi, could we retrieve this information? Could you get all of it? And I wasn't sure, but then it pulled it out. And then I like what you mentioned. There has to be a source. Most of the times when I prompt it to do something, it will show me, I'm a journalist, so it will show me where that information has come from. So it is true that in some instances I've seen how effectively it has worked for me. But when I say we do scratch the surface at some point, it's because we do not know. And
It's
I think
true.
one of in today's session, the conversation will be how to learn to understand, right? And how to use it effectively in your daily work so that we stop scratching the surface.
Yes, and I think a little bravery is required here, as with anything new that pops onto the scene. You have to be willing to explore. I think understanding things on your terms makes it a lot easier than someone downloading a bunch of information on you. You can now understand nuances based on what you need. So explore. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It can take some more of your data and then give you a more accurate result the next time you use it. I feel like that's normally the trade-off with AI in general. You're feeding it something and that might make you feel a little uncomfortable. But there's two components. One is if you understand consent is key, and two, it's not used for nefarious purposes. It's actually just you're just using it to enrich yourself. It becomes a more fun playing ground. Like, even ask it odd questions. I like to just like deep dive into the history of random things, jewelry or like makeup. You just spend some time like really sitting back and understanding how far this technology is being used. So when I have to use it for something intentional, I already know how this works.
How then do we balance technology progress with ethics, safety, and inclusion?
So I think this is a big one for anyone that's bringing the software into the country. I think it's up to them to really understand that the whole thing with bringing innovation and bringing progress into the country is not to undercut or bring in hidden terms and make it feel like our citizen is now coming in almost with their eyes closed. You know what I mean? I think education is a really big part of this, and that's one of the reasons we came to Pawnee Innovation Week. We wanted to help educate any of our prospective users, patients, healthcare practitioners about how the system actually works. And so the ethics are involved in making sure people are educated, they're consenting with knowledge, but more importantly, please read your terms and conditions whenever you, I know it's a long one, but just take the 15, 20 minutes.
We do not. We scroll all the way down and then we tick the
Just
box.
click accept. I think that's part of the problem. If we start reading, we'll be able to now understand exactly what we're signing up for. So nothing's going to blindside you at a later time.
Yeah.
But this is, again, what we're trying to do is, in case you haven't read your terms and conditions when you sign up on helexiaplus.org.
Yes.
Yes, please do sign up. You'll be able to now understand why taking you through the system is important. We want to make sure you know exactly what you're doing, even if you haven't read your terms and conditions. But please read your terms and conditions. Like, please.
Please read your terms and conditions.
Yes.
That's my take home today.
She reads your pages.
Put it through ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Let it help you synopsize something. You see what?
Let it help you debunk.
Let us leverage what we've been given.
Makes work easier.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. For somebody like me, me now, what skills should people who want to learn about AI consider having?
So I think the first is just sharpen your Googling skills, really.
Okay.
Like, get onto Google. I'm telling you, it's not as complicated as we make it seem. It really is as simple as the internet is the grandest repository for information we currently have. And yeah, there's a lot of skimming through it. Like, some things may be accurate, some things may not be. But look for verified courses, get on the internet, do some Googling so you've just got a foundational understanding. My whole thing is, I feel like it sounds intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, change is always intimidating. But the only way we can make this process not intimidating is to equip ourselves with the information. So start with some Google. Maybe check out a course or two online. Look at, get onto YouTube, maybe just search up a couple of videos so you can understand things conceptually. Don't go for the big picture yet. Understand the nuances of what it actually is. And then take it from there. Because then you'll figure out, your mind will start asking questions anyway. You'll understand AI is this. Okay, but what does it mean in this context? How do we apply it here? Then you just get on the internet, ask it some more questions. And eventually the amount of information you will have at your disposal will be insane. So that's really a very simplistic answer for where you can start, like, learning to self-enable.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You're gonna
believe
start?
in you. I believe in you.
So as you're going to speak during Pawnee Innovation Week today, what message do you want to leave with young innovators and entrepreneurs who are curious about entering the AI space?
I think be daring, be unafraid to make mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, we are human. We do not have a 100% strike rate at anything, really. But more importantly, be able to take the lessons from any time you hit a snag into making something better. That's literally why so many technologies right now are able to still withstand time. My favorite example of this is PlayStation. Just look at how long that's been around. And with every step of the way, you can't tell me they've had flawless runs through and through. But what did they do? They take this feedback, they make it better, they make the graphics better, they make the fans run faster without them getting stuck or having to be cleaned all the time. We've got wireless controllers. They come in a cute array of colors too.
Yes.
You see what I mean? It's just user experience really varies. But if you're coming in with intention, just be fearless. And it sounds easier said than done. Anxiety is also a very real thing. But you'd rather do something scared than not do it at all. And I think that's one of the things I really love about bringing Helexia here. It's just, I'm sure people will have questions. We'll still have naysayers. But at the end of the day, instead of asking why we're doing something, we really have to ask ourselves, why not? Why not? Why not just do it? Like, what do we have to actually lose? Yeah, so that would be my little 2 cents for any innovators sitting out there that are looking at AI for the first time. Be scared, but do it.
I like that. Be scared, but do it. Thank you so much, Aisha. This has been quite informative. And when we're talking about Helexia,
Yes.
and you mentioned a face scan. 2 things, by the way, before I say bye. 2 things. You mentioned a face scan, and we are skeptical. Or like, What do you mean a face scan?
I know it
What are
sounds
the
like
risks?
kind of creepy.
Yes,
Ama ile,
yes.
the other one,
The
yeah.
eye. Those are what do you call it?
What?
Those one
Eyelid
those scanning
something.
our which one?
WorldCoin.
WorldCoin. Yes,
Yes,
we
that
remember
one.
that,
Yeah.
and we're very skeptical.
Of course.
And so, what are the risks?
I mean, the risks with a lot of AI systems in general are quite common, and we've just explored them right now.
Yeah.
It's what happens to your data, and is it going to be misused, and can I prevent this from happening?
Yeah.
That's primarily it. So what we're trying to do with Helexia in particular is, again, re-empower users of AI systems with consent being prompted to you anytime your data is going to be shared. But more importantly, and I think this is a big one, and I also think it's a big ask. The reason we brought Helexia into Kenya and into Pwani Innovation Week is because we believe as a community that the Kenyan citizens just deserve better healthcare infrastructure.
That's
Not
true.
everything is under nefarious circumstances. Maybe if enough people understood that we just deserve better and we're bringing in things to just make things better. We're not asking for anything like weird. We're not trying to undercut you. We're not trying to sell you off to some. There's none of that. We actually just want to make things better.
Yeah. Okay. And still on that, on making things better, I'm going to take you back. You said this was it was piloted in India.
Yes.
Right. Do you have institutions in India where Helexia has been integrated?
So, funnily enough, and I found this out a little later.
Yeah.
Helexia was actually the facial scanning part of it was piloted in my hometown. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's a pretty the state itself is quite large, but more importantly, and this was important to me personally. If you go to India, we've got a large diaspora of people, and your conventional understanding of the Indian community here may not be what was tested on. So, for example, skin tone is a really big differentiator between results.
Yeah.
But they've tested this on an array of skin tones to make sure that the results are still accurate, regardless of what we look like. And I think that's really important to bring in here. So they're working with, if I'm not mistaken, government agencies within Karnataka, which is the state that holds Bangalore, to now bring Helexia screenings or the facial screenings in general to large populations across the state. So we'll be able to, supply more information, more reports, everything on our website, so you can double check for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. I would like you to, but definitely do your research.
Yeah.
So check out the Helexia website. We're happy to entertain any of your questions and queries, but that should take care of this. Yeah.
I think that's it. And also, you know what? For more questions, Aisha will be at Pwani Innovation Week today, and of course, there will be you'll be exhibiting, right?
So unfortunately, we've got a very small speaking time allocated for today.
Okay.
But we're planning on doing quite some with, like we said, Mombasa County will probably be back.
Okay.
But more importantly, just watch our social media and watch our website. We'll tell you exactly where we are and what we're up to next.
All right, then check out helexiaplug.org and find out more information about them. Thank you, Aisha, for making time. And that is our update today. You know what? Those are the programs that are lined up for you today. Much more. Please show up at Pwani Innovation Week today. Begins at 9. It's already began. Of course, it began earlier on because guys did some fitness exercise workouts. They moved their body. And so now they're going to learn a few things. Salim and I are about to leave because our show is coming to an end. We'll head there and learn about a few things as well. Get yourself a ticket at pwaniinnovationweek.com. We'll be right back. Good morning.